Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the July 30th, 2025 meeting of the Delhi Township Trustees. We will open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I have 2 moments of silence tonight, and the one I just learned as I came in here tonight. But this is a gentleman who has been such a philanthropist and such a visionary. Tom Sedler of Home City Ice passed today at age 92. And he has been a wonderful philanthropist and supporter of Xavier University and their business college and their basketball program. And he's just been a wonderful philanthropist to the entire community of Cincinnati, Ohio. He will be gravely missed, for sure. He has 4 sons and wife, Jenny. So we will have prayers for Tom Sedler and the family of Home City Ice. And then on a closer to me personal note, the Oak Hills Alumni and Educational Foundation is mourning the passing of one of our board members, Donna Bella, who was in the district office for 42 years. And she was a tremendous asset to the board for the Oak Hills Alumni and Educational Foundation. So, wow, it's been a rough couple days here. Let's offer up prayers of condolences and strength to the families of both Mr. Sedler and Donna Bella. Thank you. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, Mr. Luby, can we have the approval of the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from the regular meetings on June 25th and July 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to approve the overtime for pay periods ending July 8th and July 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Report from our fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Significant transactions since our last meeting. Our payroll in 7/17 was $378,000, and we cut a check to Midtown Health for $46,000 for the June stop loss. As far as deposits go, we did receive $19,000 for the permissive motor vehicle license tax and $63,000 for the local government distribution and the gasoline tax. And we received $25,000 from Veridian for the annual CAM charges. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Well, trustee correspondence, Trustee Davis.
2 things tonight. One, congratulations to Bailey and Bailey's Adult Day program celebrating 40 years, which will be August 5th. They're going to have many events going on in the afternoon. And 40 years, the Adult Day program, Bailey, one of our largest employers here in the township, 400 some employees that they have all together. So they're going to have a huge celebration, and we're going to do a proclamation for them, which is great. Just thanking them and congratulating them for 40 years of ministry, mind, body, spirit, healing that they offer with the Adult Day program, and gives peace and comfort for those that take care of those that are challenged physically, and knowing that they're safe so others can go on and work their jobs and then pick their loved ones back up. So 40 years, my goodness gracious. Congratulations to Bailey for that. The second part is, gosh, who knows the difference in a day, and this is just my own personal opinion, does not share, or you all have your own opinions. The recent incidents that happened last weekend in the city of Cincinnati, we might say, well, that's the city and we're out in Delhi, but it's our city. And when you say, where are you from? You say, I'm from Cincinnati. And we take a lot of pride in that because the city has many great, great things to offer, and it's a beautiful town. So the incidents that happened, I don't think describe Delhi, the city. They describe different factions in the city, if you would. And it's sad, it's tragic when you see something like that happen. And any type of hitting, senseless beatings, things like that just make absolutely no sense. And, to go after an attack and just the human dignity that is attacked, it's just so sad. But it was also a time for me as a trustee to look up and think how blessed we are in Delhi to have the safety services that we have, that we know if something like that, it would be squashed so quickly. And I'm not tempting fate, but we all know just because of the past and all the incidents that we have, you do a major crime out in Delhi, you are going to get caught. Thank you to the board for the flock cameras that we have throughout the township, that if something goes down, we've got film, we've got points of reference that we can go back to and solve crimes. So I'm sorry for the city, but my bottom line is, and again, my opinion, you get what you voted for with some of the leaders or lack thereof. What a shame. What an absolute shame. Get police officers down there, get them out on the streets. They say, well, this is what our number is. No, it's not, because of all the lieutenants, sergeants, and all the others that aren't even out on the road. You took your money and put it to other things instead of to what you really needed to put it at, and that's a shame. That really is, because Cincinnati is beautiful. It is a great city, and when you see things like that, it just hits your heart. It hits your spirit. And the great people who live in the city, I'm sorry for you. Come to Delhi. How about that? But we keep them in our prayers. We just want peace in the streets and everything like that going on. Do I think Cincinnati is safe? I do. But at 2, 3 in the morning, get home where you belong. You don't belong on the streets of Cincinnati. Come on. That's my thought. Thank you.
Trustee Sturts.
No, I have nothing. I don't know how to follow up with that. Thank you.
All right. Well, I have a few things. The first thing is I have the honor of serving on the board of the Hamilton County Emergency Management Board, and we just went over the heat emergency, and I just wanted to, and I checked with Chief Campbell today about cooling stations, and we have opened cooling stations in the past, and the most reliable, always available, happens to be our own public library. So it was interesting to hear the different communities talk about the heat emergency. And then, of course, we had some flooding issues, and this is a board that looks over any hazardous situation, spill, or condition inside Hamilton County. And it is a nationally recognized board, Hamilton County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. And so it's an interesting board, and I'm honored to serve on it. In addition to that, I would also, hopefully, because all of you are on social media, have seen the pictures of Floral Paradise Gardens. There was a lot of very positive comments. There's always a few people that say, where is this? And we have to educate them again that this is off of Greenwell Avenue between Delhi Pike and Foley Road. But if you get the opportunity, stop and look at Floral Paradise Gardens. Everything's in bloom. The new sculptures have just added a new dimension to the entire Floral Paradise. So stop and see that. And I'm surprised, Rose, because we had a congratulations letter to Public Works that never really gets letters of thank you.
I didn't see it.
I know. Well, I brought it along because I just wanted to share that Public Works got a big thank you and a shout out from a resident for taking care of their parking signs and their issues. So thank you to Public Works for that. And last but not least, yes, I've read all of your inquiries regarding energy aggregation, and that is why we have a guest this evening to take us through energy aggregation, A, B, C, one step at a time, so that we can all have a more clear understanding of what it can do for us and why it was decided on by our residents, okay? So with that, I am finished. All right, so we can move on to the next, which would be our special presentation. And this special presentation is being done by Rich. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Is it Surace or is it Service? All right. And he is the Government Aggregation Program Director, I guess, right, for our energy aggregation program. So thank you, Rich, for coming tonight, because you know we've had a lot of questions, a lot of confusion. I mean, this up and down of the pricing of energy is driving everyone crazy. So thank you for being here, and get ready, because we got more questions for you, and I know you're prepared to answer them, so thank you.
No, thank you for having me back out again. It has been a couple of years since I've presented to this board. First time in this building. It's absolutely beautiful. You guys have done a fantastic job. You know, we'll call it a campus, right? As far as when I pulled up, it's a lot different than the previous building that I was in, so congratulations to the township on that. So though, you know, tonight the main focus was going to be about natural gas, right? We'll touch on electric too, and we can even start there if you'd like. But your natural gas contract does expire in October. The current rate is 50.24 cents, so we'll just say 50 cents, or we'll stop the third, fourth decimal place, 50 cents right now. And that's with AEP Energy, so that is coming up in October. So, you know, if the board wants to continue to have a program, I believe there is legislation on tonight to vote to keep that going. A decision would have to be made within the next couple of weeks, but if you give approval, we likely would move forward tomorrow. The offers that we're seeing right now, it looks like AEP will continue to stay with them, and the price would be at $64.99, so 0.6499. How does that compare, and what does it look like as far as, you know, some of the things we're seeing? I believe you should have a slide deck in front of you, a memo I sent to your administrator a couple weeks ago, and we'll kind of talk through a few of these images. So the first one is your current program that's expiring. Well, how did it do compared to Duke? Right? That's what your aggregations programs are about. Can we offer better programs, better pricing than what Duke can do? And right now, anybody who's been on the gas program since November would have been the first bill, has saved roughly 7% compared to Duke's rates. Duke's rates on the gas side are variable, and you can see from that orange line, they swing quite a bit, right? So they had fallen into the mid-50s during parts of the winter, and then they were up over $1.20 as we got into the latter half of the winter and into early spring. And if I look at even Duke's rates going back to 2024, so the past 4 years, their rates have swung anywhere from 33 cents to $1.20, right? So it's this constant volatility that Duke has, and, you know, they can't offer you a fixed price. Well, that's just not how their program is designed. And I think that's where, you know, this board in the past has voted to have an aggregation program and offer your residents a fixed price, and obviously has done, you know, a great deal. And alone, just over the past, we'll call it 8 months, have saved people 7% on the gas. So again, the recommendation tonight is to allow your administrator to sign a new agreement with AEP Energy, and at 0.6499, and that would be for 12 months, so through October of next year. The second slide, if you'd like to bring that up, please, to show you. I wouldn't get too caught up in the unit of measure. It's MMBTUs, which that's the measure of the raw commodity of natural gas that's traded on the market. But it's more of a look at the shape of that, right? So as we expect, gas prices typically will spike in the winter, right? So we see that there. So that's where we're trying to protect your residents from as well. So if we take that curve there, some of the tools we have internally, we're expecting that Duke's going to be somewhere between the 70 to 80 cents range this upcoming winter. So again, the offer of, we'll round it up to 65 cents, should give your residents that security, you know, and the savings like it has in previous years compared to Duke's rates. And so that's where, again, we're making that recommendation. So any initial questions on natural gas, we'll say?
Well, Rich, when we started this entire energy aggregation opportunity,
Yep.
It was put out to a vote by our residents to either enter into a program of aggregation or not. And then we began with the process of selecting who our supplier would be. And part of the reason why we selected Energy Alliance at the time was no penalty fee for opting in or opting out. So all of our residents have the ability to either join the aggregation program or not.
Correct.
And the other thing was your customer service to our residents. And we were very pleased with handling of our senior center and all the seniors with questions about that. But with the recent fallback into Duke because of the pricing went below what you had, it's caused a lot of confusion with our residents as to who's supplying what and when and what am I paying. So can you kind of take us back a few months to when?
Absolutely. Yeah. So your prior program expired in May. And at that time, again, you have to back out roughly 60 days because you have to do the opt-out letters, everything else. You have had to make a decision, we'll call it early March, if you wanted to continue your program. At that point, the rates we were seeing from suppliers were roughly 10 cents, right? We knew prices were going to be ugly regardless. But the prices we were getting from multiple suppliers was roughly 10 cents. At that time, Duke had not published what their rate was going to be for June and beyond. They had actually just about run their first auction. So they procure their electric rates by running an auction process.
But they did publish that they were going to have an increase, correct?
They did, but we did not know what that was in March when the board would have had to make a decision to not have a lapse in the program. So it was at that point that we had made the recommendation to your administrator and to you as well to let your program lapse. Because we were up against the time crunch. So we just didn't feel comfortable that if
the price was lower than you were able to provide us.
That's correct, right?
So you were watching out for the residents of Delhi Township by saying, hold back until we can get a better price.
It was about a month later, right? So it was in early April that prices started to fall, and that's when we had made the phone call to say, we think it's time to go, because we were nearly 10 cents in March, but the prices had fallen to the 9.32 that you guys are at now. And at that point, Duke had published, or at least the auctions had cleared. We knew they were going to be above 10 cents, so we can, for the most part, guarantee savings. So though we, respect and understand, and that there was a high price for the 1 month of bills that people got, I think it's our job. If we're not 100% certain that you should take an offer, and make the recommendation for an offer, then you should take it. And at that time in March, we were not 100% sure that we can compete with Duke, so that's why we said go back. And we did watch the market for 1 month. Unfortunately, did send people back to Duke for 1 month, but now people are able to save roughly 11% compared to where Duke is right now.
Okay, so let's talk about the perfect storm here. Your price was not going to beat the Duke price, so we dropped everyone back to Duke in order to provide a lower cost, correct?
Yep.
All right. Then we get the heat dome, and everybody's using more energy than they did a year ago in the same month, correct?
Correct.
So they're confused with, is Duke my supplier? Is it Energy Alliance my supplier? And on top of that, we have high usage.
Yep. For a little bit of clarification there, Energy Alliances, we will never be the supplier, right? We are your consultant, right? So if people are on the aggregation program, they would see Dynegy's name listed on the bill. Yep. So with that heat at the end of June, a lot of people should have been back on the program by that point because it did start with the June meter read. So depending on when their bill was read, a lot of people should have seen that. But yes, we did have two things that hit really at the same time, much higher rates than people have ever paid, whether they were on the aggregation or with Duke, and then significantly high usage. I had actually shared with your administrator, my family was actually out of town that last week of June. We had our house set to 79 degrees. We have one of those smart thermostats. Our AC ran, 2 of the days we were gone, ran for 17 hours each day just to try to keep the house at 79 degrees, and we weren't even there, right? So if that tells you, how this impact people's usage when, I hope they don't keep their houses warm as we were keeping our house then, but, it was very hot, right? And even these last couple of days, it's very hot it's very tough for a home to get comfortable, even below 75 when it doesn't even get below, I looked at the news this morning, it was 75 degrees this morning. Really tough to keep a house cool. So yes, as hot as it was, I'm sure everybody's AC was running almost around the clock to try to keep people comfortable. So yes, higher rates, higher usage, hit at the same time for some of the highest bills people have ever seen.
I can give you a case example where I spoke to a resident this week, And from the June bill to July bill, their usage more than doubled. They didn't change the way they use their house. You know, it's just the additional load that you know, is put on by, by temperature variables. So, you know, when you more than double your electric usage from month to month, you're going to see that. Our rate is higher than it used to be, but so is Duke's. Keep in mind, if we're at 9.32 cents, they're at 10.43. Okay, so we do have, show me your bill. If you have a problem with, what you're seeing in, on your bill, and you're worried that it has anything to do with aggregation, bring it to me. Call me.
Okay.
We will look at it. If you're on aggregation, you will save 11% on your supplier rate compared to the Duke rate. So for somebody that's a normal household, July was a high usage month. Let's say you've got 2,000 kilowatt hours of electric usage. The aggregation plan will save you about $25 on that bill. Okay? Most months when you're, closer to 1,500, it's going to be less, but it's still 11% better than what Duke's going to offer you.
Well, it's painful to listen to the residents when they open their bills and get shocked by the energy costs. Mm-hmm. But, I just want them to understand that we're trying our best to work with you all to maintain the lowest possible rate we can possibly get. Plus, it doesn't have the penalty fees. And I think the penalty fees catch a lot of our residents off guard. They think that they can flip in and out, and you to a lot of them, you can't. You just can't. There's a penalty fee. So.
Yeah, I think people need to understand their bill. I mean, because we've just like you, we've taken a lot of calls. We've had people upset, whether it's with Delhi, other communities. They think they're on the aggregation. They're actually not even on the aggregation program. They're either paying Duke's default or they're with a completely different supplier that they don't even know how they got there. Right. So again, if people want to be on the aggregation, they want to make sure they have Dynegy's rate listed there at the rate of 0.0932, or if they see the retail energy rider, the retail capacity rider, the alternative energy rider, and the supplier cost reconciliation. If they see those four riders, then they know that they're with Duke's default supply and not shopping with a third party. If they see any other name, they'll have to call the number on their bill to figure out how they ended up with that other third party, if that's not where they want to be.
Are we beyond being slammed? Because I know when we first started the aggregation program, there were a lot of door knocking and kind of scam calls about, offering you a better deal. Are we beyond that now, or
No.
is that still out there?
We're not. No, because we get calls all the time of whether it be
They've
door to
been
door,
slammed into another-
whether people are calling. We heard from somebody yesterday. One of our salespeople came to me and they're like, "Have you ever heard of Duke Choice?" Well, somebody called one of their customers and said that they were with Duke Choice. So they're, I don't know if I use the term misleading, right? But they're creative with the words they use to try to kind of hit. Oh, this is Duke, right? So, short, no, I don't think that the marketers have got away from the tactics they use to try to gain business.
Any questions?
No, I mean, Rich, I appreciate you being here, and I had sticker shock myself from going from 280 up to 440. It was like, what? And I really thought something was missing, and it is something. If this is you, which if many of you, it's you, when you look at the rate that had gone up and the usage, and on every bill, you can see what your usage has been. You can even go on, if you're online, you can see what it's been for the last several months or compared to by year. And so it took me doing that and even calling Skylar, I know, and talking to you, Brian, so that I could understand it, because it is so damn confusing. And we've been talking about it for months. Now, how does this work? And what is this? And who's Energy Alliance? And now what does Dynegy have to do with all of this? But if I understand it right, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, would you equate it to the gas station, to where you're looking for the cheapest gas, and instead of you flying all over, we are working with you to get our residents the cheapest way? And what you're saying tonight is, because of that, and because back in 2014, I believe, when the voters passed this to try and give us options, because we do want the lowest prices, you're saying, trust me, had you stayed with Duke, you'd be at 11% more than where you are now.
That's correct.
So it's one of those things where it could be worse, and at the same time, it's not easy to accept it, but at the same time, look at everything. And thank you for that. It's not a Delhi issue. It's everywhere. Go on any social media post, Northern Kentucky, Green, you name it. It's all the same. It has gone up, and your usage has gone up because of what we're battling, and we're hoping for better days ahead. I hope you are off on that other number for January, February of next year during the winter. It's like that could be tough, but that's where we are. And but I really appreciate you coming out and trying to explain it more. And the residents that are home, or even those that are here tonight, if it's even more confusing, take Skylar up on his offer. If you're not sure, call him. Call Skylar. Call us, and we will work with that to try and get you to better understand it. But we all got it, and I know we hope for better things, and we also have to trust that we're looking for the best price because we want the best for the residents also, and that's what your job is. So
I tell my kids, because they're on social media with everything, just like telling you guys to go back for a month. We didn't take that lightly either, right? So every decision we make is to try to do the right thing, because you say, we're from Cincinnati, right? We live around here. I don't want to come down here, or anybody else from our office to come down here and get yelled at in public so that we're seen on social media. So we have to do our best for you, because if we don't, that's when you call us in and yell at us in public.
And I have to be honest with you, Rich. We posted this, that we were going to be having this discussion tonight, and I'm literally looking at 4 people out there, and one's an employee. So maybe people are starting to understand it a little better, realizing this isn't something against them or anything like that. It's usage, and the price has gone up. Here we are. And
The point is, we have someone here to educate them.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have someone right here who is at the controls here with Energy Alliance. So questions will be continue to be asked, and people, some on social, you're never going to sway them to understand it. But we appreciate you putting some facts out and helping people with that. And again, if you're still confused after watching this, call us, call the township, call Skylar, and we will walk you through that and see if we can figure that out. And I appreciate that very much.
Trustee Sturts?
You asked the question if we're still getting slammed, and yes, my husband and I were slammed. And we know who we're supposed to have, but when you look at your bill, you don't look at your bill. And we were paying at least 4 cents more for about 4 months, 5 months. We never talked to anybody about changing. It just happened. Don't know how. They said it didn't happen. We approved, blah, blah. And sometimes it's as easy as them calling and getting your voice to say yes. And they can just use that. So, look for the Dynergy. 4 cents for 4 months during those hot months and cold months made a lot of difference. As a business owner, our bill, when we opened it up this month, was a little shocking. And we're out in Claremont County. It was 20% higher, 20%. And for a business, that's major. So when people wonder about cost of your products, 20% on a business, as you know, is major. So we're all living it. We're all breathing it. We're all eating it. You're doing the best for us that you can. We're doing the best that we can for our residents. It's all part of trust and knowing that we have the experts working for us.
I just never want the residents to think that we're not working to get the best that we can possibly get.
Right.
And you being here tonight, thank you. It's a brave move because
Yeah.
we didn't know what kind of questioning might be here tonight. So I really do appreciate it. Anybody have anything else before?
And I do know one of the questions that's been asked me, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt,
Yeah, go.
is why do we have to opt out? And that's the way aggregate works. You all get opted in, and if you don't want to, you have to opt out. It's the way the creature is, correct? That's the process.
Yeah, to put a little bit of color around that too, the statistics with so the Public Utilities Commission has statistics. And the amount of people who actually choose to go out and get their own pricing, my last check, I think it was less than 5%, right? So it is an opt-out program. It allows, for pricing to do the grouping, right, to get something better. And I'll be sort of frank with this. I hope I don't, regret it on camera.
Right.
It forces your residents to save money, right? Because the numbers show that most people will not opt in to something. So I understand, and the people who by principle say, well, I don't want to be part of this, there's a permanent do not aggregate list with the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. So they could permanently opt out if they don't want to be part of the program. But, the opt-out, I think it's important, for the pricing, and I think it's important because the large majority of our residents will save money, right? And they don't need to take any action at all. And I think sometimes because of, right now at least, how vocal people are, because it's sticker shock, right? It's there.
Yeah.
What about the thousands that are not calling, right? The thousands that are not saying anything. And when we have people every day calling us, I spoke to a few different people from Delhi today who want to opt into the program. So I think sometimes we get so caught up in people who are upset. And I respect that. I understand why they are upset. But there's still thousands of people in this township that are saving money and are happy with where the programs are right now.
There was one very confusing remark on social media that said that they had been told that it was our fault. It was Delhi Township's fault. And I was like, no. And they were told that. Unfortunately, their response was it came from Duke.
So I worked for Duke at this point. It was almost 15 years ago. I have talked to the head of their call center 3 times in the past 2 weeks. Whether it be from Delhi, whether it be other communities, if I hear those sort of things, I actually ask the person if it's okay if I have their number so I can give it to Duke so they can go back and listen to the call. Because I think we have a problem with Duke, and not that the reps are trying to do anything. There's no incentive for Duke, right? They don't have power plants anymore.
There's no finder's fee from Duke.
Right. There's not. But their reps still need to be educated about what it is. I have no problem at all if somebody does not want to be part of the program. If they want to opt out, they want to leave, fine. But I think they should at least make decisions based off of correct information.
I agree.
And I've shared that sort of stuff with Duke, that you need to listen to some of these calls, because when they call there and they're like, well, you need to talk to your township, it's an aggregation program, almost putting a blame on the township for it and not explaining to the person what it means, why they have it, how it compares to Duke's default rate. But yes, I've been in touch with Duke multiple times in the past 2 weeks because of hearing things like that.
Well, thank you for handling it, hopefully. Again, I thank you for being here, and I applaud your fortitude and bravery for coming to us with this, because we've been taking a few hits on it, and I appreciate your help.
Yep. Anytime you'd like for us to come out, just
Thank
please
you, Rich.
let us know.
Anything?
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I,
Thank
just
you.
for a moment, because I'm aware of the commentary about, this is the township's fault. So first of all, you just heard Mr. Surace say, and I see Mr. Surace as much as I see some of my partners at the office, as many jurisdictions as he and I works with through Energy Alliance. But at any rate, get what he said, folks. Get what he said. If you want to opt out, you can opt out. And let me tell you what social media would be doing if the trustees control who'd opted in and who opted out. You'd see that commentary a lot more than you'd see Delhi Township is controlling something. As Mr. Davis, I think, accurately and correctly pointed out, what you have done as a board of trustees is essentially hired somebody to go every customer in the township where this aggregation applies and say, here are the gas prices. We're going to take you to the lowest gas station, but we're actually going to drive your car, we're going to put the pump in, and then guess what? If it gets too high, we're going to take you to the other gas station, and if that gets too high, we'll bring you back to the other gas station. That's all this is. You ought to thank them for it. And if you don't like it, opt out. Use your freedom of choice. But don't deflect it to the trustees when the trustees have given you that choice. It's not their choice. Well, all they've done is saved you money over the years, and all of my other jurisdictions that do it too. I don't have a dog in this fight other than to protect what I think are good governmental decisions made by this board as they I'd say normally, but always do.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Rich.
Thanks.
All right, we will return back to the agenda and begin with our department reports. And the first is Fire Department. Chief Campbell.
We have Resolution 2025-129, authorizing the purchase of a 2027 Horton ambulance from Atlantic Emergency Solutions, Inc., directing the issuance of a purchase order for state purchasing program pricing, authorizing the township administrator to execute and accept the purchase agreement, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, please.
Yes, thank you, trustees. So back at our May 28th meeting, I pressed upon the board our urgent need to get an order for an ambulance in order to have it here timely. This is the proposed ambulance that we're looking at for the board to approve for a purchase agreement. It is replacing a ambulance. By the time this comes in, that ambulance box, because it has been rechassied, will be approaching 20 years age. So there's a couple challenges with, I've mentioned the lead time with these things have increased so much that we have to get the order in to get our spot in line. If the board approves this agreement tonight, the earliest delivery would occur is January 2028. So the question comes up, when do you pay for it? That would be the time where we would need to have the purchase order ready. So the earliest would be January of 2028 or as late as July 2028. That's the window they're giving us now. And after the May 28th meeting, discussing with the board that, hey, we need to put a search committee out, see what apparatus are out there and evaluate other ambulances, because we haven't had to do this in a while. And so I had a good group of our ambulance committee went out to various departments all over the tri-state area to look at newer models from different manufacturers that we would be interested in to get a good idea on how the box configuration, patient comfort, safety, and all those things. And after a period of about, I'd say about a month and a half, they had narrowed it down into 2 potential candidates. Finally settling on this Horton ambulance, which you might recognize the name. The majority of our fleet is Horton. It is a part of Rev Group, and it would be an agreement with Atlantic Emergency Services, who now sells Horton ambulance. The biggest reason, not only with cost, it was the lowest of the 2. The biggest reason and biggest factor that impressed the committee so much was what we haven't seen in our current stock of ambulances, and it's the safety features that are provided to our paramedics and attendants and patients in the back of the ambulance. This new ambulance is outfitted standard with airbags in the rear compartment. They have new 6-point and 4-point restraint systems, so our paramedics can be buckled in, get up, take care of a patient, sit down, being tethered to a safety strap. In the event of a collision, it's a roll cage construction of aluminum frame. It's got triple wall construction for critical zones for impact, anti-intrusion panels in those high-risk areas of getting hit. God forbid, we're in a serious accident. Our ambulances have been hit over the years. You understand that. It does happen. But the safety features integrated into this configuration are far superior than anything we've ever seen in Delhi Township. So certainly with those added features, we'll continue to utilize the cot lift systems, the current cots that were available to us with the power cots to reduce injuries and things like that, the UV light protection. It'll have an integrated child restraint system. We have multiple patients sometimes, and one of the biggest challenges we have is having a child in the back of the ambulance and safely have them restrained. So that would be another factor in that. It carries all the normal technology to tell us about what the ambulance is doing, its oxygen levels, its security alerts. It's just a multitude of things. The change that we're going to notice the most is we're going from a gasoline van style to a gasoline truck style. And as you can see in the image, it's a truck front end that allows for more weight. It allows for a more compartmentation. We're gaining approximately 8 cubic feet of compartmentation in the ambulance, and that also includes patient and compartment size in the back. That's the first thing that everybody notices. Most of our guys hunch over at the shoulders. They can't get around. There's grab bars everywhere. You can almost stand full upright at 6 foot in one of these things. So it is a much bigger, much safer ambulance. some of the concerns, I mean, obviously, I had thrown out the number, hey, we're going to be in the ballpark of $400,000. Tonight's proposal for this ambulance in year 2028 is 362, just a little bit over 362,000. So,
Doug, from our
yes.
from our earlier conversation about this, though, this expense, this plan, was in a 5-year plan of replacement anyway. Is that true?
Yes, like I said, the box is approaching
Budgeting, I want everyone to
Yeah.
understand that this is not a surprise. It's in a long-term planning replacement schedule.
The only surprise is how early we have to,
have to
order
order
it
it.
to meet the timeline. Again, it's crazy how fast it changes, but when you're really talking 30, 36 months out, you've got to act now. I think the most desirable thing is what provides the best safety and comfort for our patients and the equipment that we're capable of. This is going to be something we haven't seen, ever in this township. So really a big improvement over what we had, and staying with the Horton product. It's really one of those things where I think we're comfortable. Most of our ambulances are Horton. You just understand the configuration. And again, they were never told to pick them. Ideally, they gravitated more towards the safety advances that this offered them as paramedics in the back of the ambulance for collision and things like that.
Okay, board, any questions? Trustee Davis, Trustee Sturts? All right, let's continue then with the resolution.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution?
I second the motion. I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes, resolution passes. Any other updates, Chief?
Yes, real quickly, I'd like to express to the board something that I shared with my personnel earlier today. A huge thank you to my personnel. I told you when we were hiring, we're losing 100 years of service and we hire 4 brand new people. The biggest challenge we were going to have is time and training and obtaining the qualifications we need to be functional at that level. And I'm proud to announce that all 4 of our brand new full-time candidates now have the qualification of fire apparatus operator. They've all gone through the rigorous training, up to 40 hours plus each of them, to focus on assisting us in another fashion in the organization. So, and this is while some of them are in medic school. So huge challenge, but a lot goes into the planning. We had set the goal to have all 4 of them up and qualified before August, and the numerous folks that took it upon themselves to get them out, set up the cones at Ineos, go through the practical testing on these hot days and getting out there and making sure they knew how to do the job, the hours and hours of driver's training, pump testing. I mean, nothing was easy. We had equipment go down in the middle out of it, and we shuffled around, but they adapted and overcome. So I shared with them my sincere appreciation for how hard they worked to get those folks up and running. And my hope is they remember that, pass it forward, the next time they have the opportunity to help others. So we're all headed in the right direction. These new hires are doing fabulous, and they're really helping us out a heck of a lot more than we could ever imagine in a short period of time. So
That's great.
thank you.
Time.
It's good to know.
Thank you. Is that it? Okay. Director Suppi, you're on with Parks and Recreation.
Good evening. I do have a,
Nice concert, by the way.
I was going to bring it up. That's a pretty good attendance. So we do have a spending authority. It'll be under administration. That's one of our items, but it'll tie into my next stuff I'm dealing with. So I did order in the previous meeting, ordered pickleball net dividers. I'm waiting on delivery and then install at that point. So they're in the process. And I also have a couple updates if Administrator Schuyler would update. It is a rough look right now. We are finishing up all the installation of the equipment for the dog park. The remaining aspects are going to be putting in our mulch ground, playground mulch underneath, so everything will drain. It shouldn't take too long. We have that on delivery for next week. We should have that coming in. And after that, in the same time frame, we're going to install the benches, remaining signage. And for that areas will be in the next meeting. I kind of mentioned I'll have a close opening date for you guys at that point. We'll get it set. I just was working with the events coordinators and Mary Annick, and we're going to work on possibly an event for the opening down there as well, like a gathering with the people, pets, and events. So I'll work with them closely, and we'll get a date out for sure the next meeting. Along with those, we will be, keep in mind, we're going to add amenities down the road. We're just getting everything set here now, getting everything in that we had purchased last year, and getting everything going and open. And it'll be an ongoing process. We're going to add things here and there, get things going. It's just what we have now is set. So, and I'm working with the CDBG grant with the Hamilton County. I just got the approval yesterday to go ahead with our bidding process. So I'll work on that for our walkways running to that. The additional entranceway to the dog park is part of that process for ADA compliance. And if possible, I'm going to work on, with pricing and cost, we're going to work on possible Floral Paradise walkways through the gardens, paving those as well. So we'll see if that gets through. It depends on the end pricing results. So, and as Trustee Seavey said, I'd like to thank everyone. We had a great turnout for the last concert with the Eagles Project last Wednesday. It was, I would say, it's our biggest crowd yet, and I hope everybody had a good time. And I know the fire department was busy. Everybody was busy. Everybody seemed like they had a really good time. So, and come back out next week. I think we have DVA coming up next Wednesday.
Okay, next week, so get ready.
Any other questions? Let me know. I can answer if.
All right. Questions?
Randy, I have a couple quick questions on the dog park. The area there where someone has their dog running, and that's great, and then they're all waiting for their dog. We probably have had this discussion, maybe you sent it on, but a covering for people that are sitting there so they're not just sitting in the beating sun?
Yeah, that I had talked early on, and those aspects are we're going to add shade structures and everything coming up to the benches and all that. As of right now, we don't have them in order for this opening. But like I said, things are going to be coming along, and I'll budget for those as well at the time.
It might be nice if we have some drawings or something like that, so people that are coming up there thinking, wow, I've waited this long, this is nice, but this is what it's going to be. So it may be a 3-step process or something.
I could work some out for you, yes.
Also, just because we are in these times, people will be coming from lots of different places because dog parks are very popular, obviously, including some of our friends who want to come over and slide over from other areas, say right inside the city, over off of, wherever, who enjoy their pit bulls and everything else. Mm-hmm. I do think, and obviously we're working with the police on this, this is something that right out of the chute has to be regulated. It has to be understood. And that's the next question is, do we have, as far as cameras in the park? And if not, we should get them going so we have a point of reference. We can see exactly what happened, because I see it happening. I'm excited. Trust me, I'm a dog lover, and I think this is great. However, I see it happening, and one dog going at another one, and next
It
time,
happens quickly, yes.
and then adults going after adults. So,
I'm trying to get that process worked out. As of right now, we do have electric back to the far end, but it shuts down with our ball field lights. So I'm working out a solution to get the constant electric juice there.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is feasibility to do that. I'm working on options such as solar, which is not so reliable, but I'm working with our camera installers to find that option.
Yeah, and that to me would be as much of a priority as the water, as everything else, just because.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And aspects like that, like I said, the shade structures, they're all aspects that are becoming, but as of right now, we'll get everything set, get everything open, and by next year, we'll have all the shade structures coming up too, as long as benches, more everything, added components as well. So we'll just keep going on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of excitement from the
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so,
Well,
good.
there is a ruling about an aggressive or dangerous breed. So,
Yeah,
as soon as we can get the camera to work, I think everyone would feel better about it.
There are signage, we'll have the rules, the signage, everything's going to be up, but always, not everybody always looks at those every single moment. It'll be good to have the cameras at that point to find out in the long run, but you're also dealing with, we're bringing on something that hasn't been there. It's a new process, and we don't have any experience in that part of it yet, so hopefully it goes well and we don't have any issues up front, but
And everyone, we do still have a park resource officer there, so, I mean, there's someone nearby and quick.
Yep.
If you see something and you're unhappy with it, or you feel that it's dangerous, pick up the phone and call, because he's not far away, or
yeah, for
she,
sure.
not far away.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Randy?
That's all I have right now.
Thank you.
You okay?
Chief, do you think we can look the other way and not put out-of-service tags on these hydrants? Is that all right?
I promise you, we will not use them.
Okay, thank you.
Those were donated by Public Works, by the way.
By who?
Public Works.
They
All
were probably
right.
glad to get rid of them.
Police Department, I think we've got Assistant Chief here tonight, right?
Wow,
Lieutenant. Lieutenant.
Or Lieutenant? Lieutenant.
So I really only have just a few things, all community events. First off, we have our Citizens Police Academy, which all of the board members have been through in the past. It's usually a great time. Everybody seems to really enjoy it. This one, it starts on October 9th. It filled up quickly, but we do still have a few more spots that if there was interest, we could squeeze people in. So if you are interested, the application's online. Call the station, talk to me, talk to Sergeant Cotter. We'll get you in there if you are interested. It's a great time. There's going to be a school supply drive again this year. Our community advocate, Kaylee Vickers, did a great job with it last year, and they're going to be collecting school supplies for people in the community. It's going to be at multiple locations here at DTS, at the police department. There's going to be a location at Delhi Library, and then at Shiloh as well. There's also going to be, we'll have a presence at several of the events accepting school supplies. There's going to be tomorrow at the Skirt Game tailgate, on the concert in the park on August 6th, and then at Kroger on August 10th.
All right. You do have a few motions on your agenda for tonight, so Mr. Luby?
Can I ask a question about that project? Are you accepting only items, and is there a list of what items you want, or can somebody give cash?
It's just items, and there's not a list. They accept everything and then sort it out, and then throughout the year, depending on what the needs are, they'll distribute it.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion giving public notice that the police chief, Jeffrey S. Braun, will be retiring effective on September 30th, 2025, and rehired on October 1st, 2025, with a public meeting held on September 10th, 2025, as provided under ORC 145.381.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Motion giving public notice that Lieutenant Joseph J. Macaluso Jr. will be retiring effective on September 30th, 2025, and rehired on October 1st, 2025, with a public meeting held on September 10th, 2025, as provided under ORC 145.381.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Resolution 2025-130, prohibiting the parking of commercial heavy oversized vehicles, dumpsters, and portable storage containers on public roadways, repealing resolution number 98-32 and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Lieutenant?
No, not a whole lot. Really, this previous motion that it repealed is almost 30 years old. This previous resolution, and it's not imposing any new significant restrictions. It's more just clearing up the terminology, updating things, and including things like pods that might not have even really been a thing back in the 90s.
All right, thank you.
The only other thing I have, just looking down the road, on September 20th, there's going to be a Touch a Truck event here at DTS. In the past, we'd have that as a component of the Skirt Game tailgate, but since we lost this property, it seems like things were kind of cramped over there in the park. We needed more room to try to get more apparatus here, so it's going to be a joint venture between us, the fire department, parks. It should be a great event.
we need to go back and finish that resolution.
Oh, sorry.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Sorry.
Now, any further updates, Lieutenant?
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much.
And,
What
and-
was
and we
the-
have those events and the flyers
of the
at the
week?
end of the meeting.
Good.
Yep. So we'll be advertising those better.
Thank you.
Public Works, Director Rippinger.
We have Resolution 2025-131, imposing parking restrictions on Cleander Drive, directing the placement of signs, posting and publication in accordance with RC 505.17, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Mr. Rippinger?
Thank you, trustees. As you can see in the picture there, that is kind of a worst-case scenario with a van, but even with smaller cars, I call it the lay of the land. The road drops down and curves a little bit, and you just, it's pretty blind corner there, yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
So,
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
Second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes. Do you have any further updates, Mr. Rippinger?
yes, a couple more photos. This is the Greenwell curve. I think it kind of hit viral a little bit, Facebook and stuff, just some residents mentioning that it was a little bit of a unsafe curve or treacherous. We haven't had accidents there in over 2 years. Anything we had was pretty minor, like a fender bender. But we worked with the police, multiple police, on this upgrade, I guess. We added the double yellow line that we think really helps. It just got put in a couple weeks ago, and then we did remove maybe another 30, 40 feet of parking. I know it was recommended to remove a lot of parking, but the majority of anything that changed was some larger trucks parked in the corner, and recently they've actually found another place to park.
Good.
So that's helped. So I really think the upgrades will definitely help. I think we removed the parking originally around this corner in the 90s, and we really didn't have a lot of complaints until the larger trucks started parking there. So should be some good improvements.
Well, thank you.
One more quick one. Just BP pipeline. I don't have the actual addresses of where they're working, but they've been working throughout the township the past couple of years, doing some maintenance to their bigger pipes throughout Anderson Ferry Road. I believe they were on Mount Alverno last week also. So we'll probably put some information out on Facebook. They usually keep traffic moving pretty good, so I don't see it being a problem. But that will go on through the rest of this season.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Well, tonight we have a new director debut. So we're going to hear from the Marketing and Events Department, Mr. Bob Riesenberg.
And I'm going to apologize because we don't have a slide yet.
You didn't have a slide yet?
But this will serve for tonight. It's a
I'll accept that.
building.
Just a brief update. It's been about 2 weeks that I've been on, and the assistant, Mary, she has been on about a week now. So we're still getting our feet wet, but we're digging in. I'm working on some event-specific marketing materials for holiday parties, weddings, family events, just anything coming up this fall that we can get out and talk to the public about. This is a good time now for booking holiday parties, and of course, it's a great time for booking weddings next summer. So that's kind of the focus right now, is to get next summer booked up. We're also working on doing some redesigning of storage spaces in the event center, our main storage, a lot of the arts department, their storage areas, just to clean things up, kind of free up some space, take things off the floor, organize a little bit, but it does require some shelving, so we're in the process of working with a few vendors, getting specs on those and some pricing. We're also working with some vendors on some new banquet tables, classroom style or long banquet tables, because right now all we have are round tables. So we're trying to increase our inventory so that we can offer a more diverse type meeting setups. So we're working, trying to get bids on those furnitures and also some additional soft furniture for the lobby areas, just to kind of make it a little more welcoming. I'm also working on some ideas for this main event center. Try to take away the industrial feel and make it a little more welcoming for family and wedding events. So we're working on some ideas there to just step it up just a little bit, some different lighting, some different decor.
I understand you had a very big, very successful group here last week.
We did. We had a group in. It was a group of reading teachers, and it originated at Mount St. Joseph. But these teachers came in from around the country for this week-long training course, and it was about 210 people. They were here all day. They had lunch. They had breaks, and it was just unbelievable to see the parking lot full. People were complaining they couldn't get a parking space right outside the door, but that's okay. That's what we want. And we got some incredibly good feedback from the participants that they love the facility. It's just a beautiful facility. So we want to go out and get some more business like that and fill the daytime hours when the evenings and weekends are easy to fill, but that midweek business during the day is not the easiest to fill. So these are the type of groups we want to get in.
All right. Any questions, Trustee Davis?
No, I'm glad you ended with that because that's, I think, is a super priority. You can get evening events, you can get weekend events, tie that in with daytime events. And even when we were going through all the interviews and things, we talked about the city of Cincinnati and all those businesses, and they all go somewhere. Why not come here? You're literally 10 minutes up the road, plenty of parking, great place. But that's our goal. The concerts, and it was packed, and everyone was, the Metropolitan Orchestra, like, wow, this is all really great. Yes, it is great. And it's yours, Delhi. Let's use it and have fun and enjoy a concert. And so we're glad. I know we're glad you're here, and we want to pack the joint. That's what we want.
Absolutely.
Daytime, evening, and really show this and showcase this because it is beautiful. And those that have been here from the fire chiefs meeting and the teachers, and I stopped up here Friday evening and talked with one of them. They loved it. They thought this was great. And we've only just begun because we're actually going to tweak some things in here too, I think, to make it more aesthetically pleasing. And yeah, so awesome. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Get busy.
Your opening night. Trustee Sturts?
No, just welcome and looking forward to everything you're going to do. I know we're going to meet, all of us, and talk about goals and our vision. And welcome.
That it, Bob? That it? Okay, thank you. Moving along, administration. Resolution, Mr. Luby?
Resolution 2025-132, authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with a natural gas supplier recommended by Energy Alliances, Inc., declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
Introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Oh, well, any more discussion on this resolution?
This is implementation of what we talked about during Mr. Surace's presentation. New rates won't go into effect until November, your November bill. But, we've got to get moving on this now so that we can lock in
Say
the most-
November bill, does that mean for the usage through the month of October, or does that mean the usage beginning in November?
I'm gonna turn that over to the expert.
It would be the usage starting October to November.
To
So that's why we're
November.
saying the
Okay.
November bill, because they would technically start in October, but the November bills would.
November bill, but mostly October usage.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't actually go, I don't think, October 1 to October 31st. Yep.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2025-133, authorizing the township administrator to spend greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township in fiscal year 2025, declaring emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
Introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Mr. Miller?
I believe we have two items on this resolution. First, we have the park's purchase of it's a shade structure, correct? Yeah, shade structure at the pickleball courts. And then we also have our annual Office 365 renewal, not to exceed $27,000. That's a cost spread across all the departments, but we, just because it's a big lump sum purchase, we get that back out to you guys. Of course, that was budgeted as part of our IT program, but now we're ready to make the purchase.
Okay, thank you.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes, resolution passes. Any report from our administrator, Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am. Just quick updates around the building. As we've been talking about, the warranty work continues. They're chipping away at that punch list. Just in the last week or two, since our last meeting, we've had Leesman Lighting, KBR, Kelly Brothers Roofing, and LaForce doing doors all out here, getting their pieces of the warranty work at least started. I won't say any of it's finished at this point, but they are out here actively engaged. So Turner is certainly holding all the subs to, holding them to the standard, we'll say. So feet to the fire, if you will. So continue working on that. We do have some additional improvements that we're investigating right now. Thank you, Tony and Randy, for working on these. We've got the patio extension, which will be the new home of our Christmas tree out here north of the lawn bar, if you will. We're just waiting on bids. We were hoping to get them out to you guys today, but just still waiting on that before we can get moving. We're still in good shape. We're talking to the contractors. They are saying we will get that patio extension in, before we're ready to build a tree. We're also looking at shade structures for out here on the lawn, so that would be the south side of the lawn bar. And thank you, Randy, for getting that together. I'll float that out informally to the trustees this week, and if we want to move forward on that, we can have a spending authority ready to go at the next trustee meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We've talked about this a lot tonight, and I had some prepared, talking points on this. I'm just going to take this time to plug the website. The township has done a very good job. Thank you, Lori Stutt, for keeping this up to date. We have a gas and electric aggregation page on the township website. If you have any questions about energy aggregation in the township, this is your resource, okay? You can come straight here, see what the rates you should be paying are. It gives you a little background information into how the aggregation programs came about. Continuing down, it'll tell you who your current suppliers are, so you can check that. It has the backup data, so the enrollment letters, comparisons to rates. We also have, because we have an excellent advocate for us in Energy Alliances, you have a letter from them as well. Let's see here. Now I got to find it. Yeah. If you go here, that takes you to the Energy Alliances aggregation page that they have set up on behalf of Delhi Township with their contact information. Rich said they're receiving calls from our residents too.
Okay.
So, between the two resources, we're tag teaming this, and we are getting good information out to residents that are being proactive in calling us. Okay. Coming down here to the very end, actually, let me see here if I can update this page.
I thought the website, that Energy Choice Ohio, was beneficial.
Well, and that's what I'm going to. We have additional information on here. If you are an advanced consumer, okay, there are resources here for you as well. Maybe you think you can go out and shop around and do better than the aggregation program. Okay, fine. There's a resource there for you. Go to the Energy Choice website, and you can compare apples to apples what the rates are for Duke. This is gas right now that I've got pulled up. You can do your own search and you can shop. Check the terms. It's not all apples to apples when it comes to terms. A lot of these programs have locked-in rates. There's fees and penalties if you get out of it early. There also might be, like the top one right here, an early termination fee of $200 to get out of the program. There also may be a monthly just fixed charge, to be on their plan. So check these terms before you sign up for them. None of those, there's none of those hidden fees associated with the township's aggregation program. So, but if you want to look at those resources are available to you. And then finally, if you don't believe what we're talking about when we say you're saving 11% compared to Duke on your bill, well, we've got the reports. These are prepared for us by Energy Alliances. This is 22 months of recent data showing, I'm not going to go through this or anything. This is 22 months of recent data from our energy aggregation program. And right there down in the green, for the entire aggregation program, if you've been on it the entire time, well, as a group, we have saved $2.6 million in energy, in energy costs. Okay, that's
based on the number of our residents that are in the program.
Yeah, and our residents run anywhere, I'm going to say between 6 and 6,500. Depending on the month, because people are coming on, people are coming off. It's not a fixed amount because you can opt in and opt out. But the people that benefited from that 22, for all 22 months, on average saved $440. Now, $440 over 22 months, that's not huge, but that's still better. It's, between the township and Energy Alliance as our advocate, all we're trying to do is hold the line. We can't control the costs absolutely. It's, whether it's electric or gas, it's a commodity that's being, bought and sold. The price is going up, just like barrels of gasoline, okay? Prices are going up. By being in the aggregation program, we are attempting to hold the line for you. That's what this program does. It's not a silver bullet, but it's something to hold the line. This is real data. There's no opinion here. If you're in the aggregation program over a long period of time, you will save money. So that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you.
Okay. But you did remind me of another important point, and that is this is not a profit center for Delhi Township. Delhi does not make money on aggregation programs. Our savings is your savings. That's how it works. So I know a couple people said, the township's making money with this. The answer to that is no, we're not. This is not a profit center for Delhi Township. This is a profit center to the 30,000 residents that live in Delhi Township.
Yep. I don't want to kick this dead horse much more, but I almost want to add to our page and have just a misconception Q&A, okay? The township does not make money on this. You know, if you're on our aggregation program, you are still a Duke customer, okay? Duke does not charge you extra, you know, because you're in this program, okay? There are other components to your, you know, to your electric bill than just the supplier rate. There's, you know, transmission fees, and Rich could get up and tell you probably all of them, but, you know, there's 3 or 4 big components of your electric bill. The supplier generation fee is just one piece of that, and that's the only thing that we can hold the line on. That's what's in the open market.
Okay.
That's what we're helping residents with.
All right,
So,
thank you.
there we go.
All right, community development. Director Roach. You want to describe how we're going to go through these?
First
Mr.
of
Roach?
all, you want to do the motion, Mr. Luby, first, then the resolution is out?
No, you do the presentation first, and then we'll,
Presentation, and then we'll follow up with the list.
Okay. So how I think we're going to do it again this evening is Administrator Miller will read the address and the violation, and we'll show our pictures. Stop us at any time if your board would have any questions. Then Mr. Luby will read the resolution numbers and go through all 15 of them, and then your board will make one motion on resolution 134 to 145.
Okay.
all right, so first one, 623 Lullaby Court. 5301 Delhi Pike.
That's White Castle.
3913 Delhi Pike. 328 Robin Lane. 3930 Delhi Pike. 3940 Delhi Pike. 3934 Delhi Pike. 4207 Delhi Pike. 5346 Del Hill Drive. 496 Hibernia Drive. 3917 Delhi Pike. 3944 Delhi Pike. 5478, these are, so we've moved into debris, is that correct?
That's correct. The next 3
Okay.
resolutions, addresses, Administrator Miller, will be for debris.
All right. 5478 Alomar Drive. 5308 Edfell Way. 5731 Forson Drive. That's it.
All right.
Any questions?
On the, if I can, do you mind?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So disheartening to see all these on Delhi Pike, and I assume that's the lower area, which is our main entrance into Delhi Pike. Are these homes, mostly are these rentals? Are these actually owned, or I mean, it's beyond embarrassing. It's horrible, but if there's an issue or something going on where they can't take care of their place, then we need to try and get them some help. But I don't think every one of them are, and these seem to be frequent flyers over and over and over.
And that's what I'm going to share with you, Trustee Davis, and that is the number of repeats that were in this. Originally, we started off with 24 problems, and of 24, 20 of them were repeat violators.
So, some of these pictures probably look pretty familiar. Like it's sad. So some of these properties, and to answer your question, Trustee Davis, it's a mixture. There are some rentals, there are some owner-occupant properties down there. Some of these properties that we've already abated once this year, the paperwork hasn't even made it to the auditor's office for the assessment yet, and we're getting ready to do it again.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable, and especially because there's people down there who actually do take care of their places and try to make it look nice. This is some of the first things you see when you come into the township. And I'm not kidding. I know we've all talked about it. Others that might come up, we might tell them, come up, I'll meet you. Come up, Bender.
And these aren't.
The back way.
And like you said, this is one of our gateways coming into our township.
Yes.
And these properties, like I said, we've abated a lot of them already this year. And I don't want to use the word patrol, but we monitor that area a lot, and that's why they're coming in front of your board again. It's not people calling in, it's ones that we did monitor because we know they'd be back in violation.
Right.
And some of them are vacant properties as well.
And it's so horrible the way the system is played. It truly is. 5478 Alomar. Alomar is one of the prettiest streets in the township. It really, truly is. It's beautiful. This issue here has been how long? At least, what, a month maybe? And then you serve them and they get time. It's just, and the stuff just sits there.
We're at the mercy of when the violation comes in. Your board meets twice a month. So, we get it in front of your board as quickly as we can once we receive the complaint or we observe the violation.
And that's an occupied house.
Oh, yeah.
It is. I believe it's an owner-occupied house.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that is not an owner-occupied house. I apologize. I misspoke. It is a tenant situation.
But I mean, somebody's living there.
Yes, it is occupied, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Ready?
Yes, ready.
Resolution 2025-134, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 623 Lullaby Court, declaring emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-135, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5301 Dye Pike, declaring emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-136, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3913 Dye Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-137, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 328 Robin Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-138, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3930 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-139, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3940 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-140, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3934 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-141, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4207 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-142, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5346 Dell Hill Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-143, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 496 Hibernia Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-144, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3917 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-145, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3944 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-146, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5478 Alomar Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-147, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5308 Edfell Way, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-148, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5731 Forson Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
Okay, consolidated board action to adopt nuisance resolutions. Trustee Davis?
I will introduce and move the adoption of resolutions 2025-134 through 2025-148.
I second the adoption of the aforementioned resolutions.
I think we've already discussed these resolutions, but is there any further discussion on these resolutions? No?
Move to dispense with the second reading of the resolutions.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolutions.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes.
We-
Department update, Director Roach.
So we do have hopefully an important motion that I believe Administrator Miller and
I don't-
Law Director Pacheco's.
Is it on the public agenda?
It is.
Okay. It's missed on your version of the agenda. There's a motion to hire a zoning inspector.
A very important motion.
Yep. So
Do we have the wording?
Read that motion to us, Mr. Roach.
My pleasure. Recommendation to approve the hiring of Ronald L. Soupy as zoning inspector in the Community Development Department at the rate of $25 per hour, establishing his vacation accrual date as of 1/1/2005, effective July 31, 2025.
So moved.
Is this a resolution or is it a motion?
It's a motion.
Okay. I second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Thank you for that. Just a quick announcement about that. We had some good candidates. I think Ron's going to be an asset to the Community Development Department with his 30-plus years knowledge in law enforcement and the knowledge of the community. So thank you for that. I think he'll be a good asset to the township, as he was as a police officer. Just a couple other things. I had the opportunity this past week to speak with the operator of the KFC. They are just waiting for comment back. They had this, county had some questions on the planning. KFC submitted their comments. They're just waiting for the county approval, and they're hoping to start their renovation hopefully in mid-August. So they are still coming to Delhi Township. Just they'll hold up with the county and plans.
Mr. Roach, I'm sorry. Are they expecting to do a total tear down, or are they just renovating?
It's just a renovation,
Okay,
Trustee
thank you.
Sturts. Yep, it's a renovation. After they did all the demolition, they found that the main bones of the building was good, and they can renovate from that.
Thank you.
Could they maybe update the sign, like be back soon, or something that's
Doesn't it say
different, so
coming
not
soon?
just have the letters?
It did say coming soon, Trustee Davis.
I would
but-
update it. We're used to seeing that. We've become
Yeah, but-
complacent with it, especially with the two O's falling on the ground. It
Yeah,
looks like it's-
I believe with some of the winds, it did blow some
Yeah.
of the lettering down. But my next conversation with the operator, I will ask him to update the sign again.
Just
But
something up there. I
Yep,
mean,
yep.
Dolly's changed their sign. We want to be your favorite restaurant. I mean,
Yep.
something that shows there's actually a pulse and something's coming would be
I
great.
certainly can do that. And then when Mr. Rippinger was talking about Anderson, or the pipeline BP, they are down at the site of the old Allison at 889 Anderson Ferry. And once they complete all their groundwork down there, then the contractor come back in and start doing the lane expansions that we've been talking about there on Rapid Run and Delhi Pike. And also, just one other thing, if I can give a quick PSA, I'm not on social media. I don't follow social media, but community development, we're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. Call us. Call us. And a lot of properties that you're asking about or zoning questions you may have, call us, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, I do have public comment signed in for this evening, and Mr. Pat Kenny? Mr. Kenny lives at 4970 Bonaventure, and your topic is?
Zoning.
All right.
I have no problem with the zoning themselves, it's just what's happening in this community.
Sir, sorry, just hit that button to make sure the green light's on.
Thank you.
There we go.
For example, I have a complaint in my neighborhood, 5 years. In the beginning, the boat comes in, you complain, they get it out. He brings it back, I got a call. So 5 years you put up with this stuff. This doesn't mean anything because we're not really doing anything. I think there should be some kind of fines if possible. Something has to be done because you got the same people here all the time. Why? Because I'm going to cut the grass. 6 weeks later, you got to go back. So this is the problem with our society, not the zoning board. But we need to find a different way to resolve the problem. The other problem we got, if you look around the township, you got people's gutters hanging down. We're not doing anything. And again, as we talked about this maybe not be a zoning, but I just hate to see this community fall apart. I'm starting to think I'm in Price Hill. It's a shame that we have to go through this. I don't have any answers, and I'm not complaining about the zoning board. I just wish we could come up with a result to solve the problem. And I thought maybe one way would be, and again, if you start fining people $100, and again, I don't know if you can do that or not, but somewhere along the line, we got to put an end to this. Otherwise, every year it gets longer and longer. So I come here because I'm totally frustrated. If it's a situation that's once or twice, but over and over again, because they know nobody's going to do anything to them.
Well, my favorite line is, we are not running a landscaping, grass-cutting organization here. And so when I go through these, and I talked to Director Roach about it earlier, and out of the original 29, 20 of them were repeat violators. We have an issue. Now, we have looked, Delhi Township has looked at and entertained in the past a property maintenance code. It's still a possibility. What's holding us back from doing a property maintenance code is, how do you differentiate, let's just say, a single mom with no one to fix a gutter and no finances to pay to have someone do it? How do we get those type of residents taken care of? Now, those who can afford to fix that gutter and just ignore it, let them fix it. Let them pay for it. But we need, and I know, Director Roach, you've talked to us again about doing a property maintenance code. And thank you for bringing it up again, Pat.
Well, I think that the problem is that if you go in some of these communities, they're nice communities. There are some people that can afford to do this, that they just don't bother because it's no big deal to them. And the whole community has to suffer for it. So I come here not complaining about the zoning board. They need help. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes.
So to Mr. Kenny's comments, the board is doing all it can do. I mean, you can't force somebody to mow their lawn. You can't force them to, deal with the gutters. You can't force them to deal with the paint. You don't have that authority.
Have that power.
Right. What you can do is what you're doing, which is you get a complaint, you address it. Again, our issue is not, we don't want to generate fines. And by the way, we do fine people who were mowing their lawns, and we're dealing with their nuisances. Every one of these are eventually going to get assessed, and they're all going to come back before this board to be assessed. So we are, in fact, recouping money, and people just don't care. So there's nothing there. Unfortunately, this is easy. It's not easy to say. It's, I think, true. We don't have a code problem. We've got a people problem, and you can't legislate that. And really, it's the neighbors who, and it used to be, that we all were worried about our neighbors, and we had some sense of community. And I'm not suggesting Delhi doesn't, not at all. What I'm saying is that's a better influence, is what your neighbors say and think and do. Because this board has really done a nice job, and as I've told you when I came on 5 or 6 years ago, you got a model nuisance code process. You really do.
Well, I think the frustrating piece to this, too, is when we put the lien on their property,
Right.
we don't see that money for years.
Yeah, you won't see that money until
that property changes hands.
Correct.
So, to loan out this type of cash that we're doing to cut somebody's lawn and put a lien on their property, it just drives me crazy waiting for the cash to come back to us.
You also have delay and due process problems, right? The Constitution requires notice. It requires an opportunity to record. It requires, if somebody wants to challenge it, you go to court. You have to set up a board. You have to do all kinds of things. So it's an additional cost to the township to go through this as well. So there are a number of issues that if people would just do the neighborly thing, we're forced to deal with that. So I appreciate Mr. Kenny's comments, but I would say you're doing, from a legal perspective, you're doing all you can do, and you're tied up like anything else by the Constitution, by notice, by opportunity to heard and process.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kenny.
Well, it is frustrating. Pat, you talk about the same thing. It is extremely frustrating, especially for all of us that have lived out here for decades. My thing is, there's always special needs, people that can't, and that is a small, that would not stop us from doing other things. But it's the ones that frustrate the hell out of us, that play the system, they play the dates, or they move, or they move into the township. Well, this is how we lived, or where we came from. Well, it's not how we live, and we're not going to live. I'm thrilled we got an inspector now that's going to be back on that we just hired here tonight, and we just keep going at it. And the people, you've got it. If there's something going on, put it up there. The one on Alomar just bothers the heck out of me. Right there to the net is a sweet little 93-year-old Italian lady who has to see this every day. It just becomes so frustrating. And like I said, there are so many that play the system and they play it well. And we've even had some that have gone to court, and the court actually, tell me if I'm wrong, actually sided with them when we've gone through it, did the manpower hours and everything, and these courts just say, oh well. You know, so we're going to stay on it, but it gets very frustrating and aggravating, and I just feel bad for the residents that have to live around this crap, and that's literally what it is. People just throw in their stuff and not caring that they just litter their stuff, don't cut their grass, don't fix the window, don't fix the gutter. It's like, how do you live like that? Much less others. So, fortunately, there's lots of great things going on, but seeing that as you drive up Delhi Pike coming into the township is just so
Heartbreaking.
Skylar?
Just quick little thing to add to this. I've been dealing with zoning in one capacity or another for the last 20 years. My first job for a township was as a zoning inspector in 2005. Okay, even back then, as a zoning inspector, it never failed. And starting in the spring when you get all the rain, you were dealing with tall grass complaints. You dealt with one neighborhood or another that was really bad for trash and debris, and then you have a sprinkling of other different types of zoning violations all throughout. It's not a Delhi problem. It's every community's problem. From my first job in Fairfield Township to out in Arizona, back to Hamilton County, east side, west side, it doesn't matter. People are people, and some people are going to be bad property owners. It happens. There's no uptick in Delhi. This is the standard course of business. So I certainly appreciate your comments, sir. You're absolutely right. People should be better stewards of their community and take care of their own properties. But, once again, what we do is we hold the line. This is what we're doing.
Thank you. And again, thank you, Mr. Kenny. We do feel and we do hear your pain, so. All right, moving through the agenda then, let's come back to announcement of community events. Let's have some happy news.
Yeah, some fun
Mr.
stuff.
Miller.
All right, I've got a page full here. So, all right, announcing our Delhi Summer Concert Series for 2025. Concerts are held at our Delhi Park Pavilion at 7 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. Thank you to our generous sponsors, Delhi Duncan, Seton High School, St. Dominic Athletic Association, Riverview, Delhi Hills, Kiwanis, Kruger Law, Duber's Carryout, Delhi Skyline Chili, James J. Luby CPA, and Robin Florist. Upcoming August concerts. August 6th is Deviate, followed by August 20th, The Menus. Save the dates for September. This is September 3rd, Forever Diamond, and September 17th, the Cincinnati Transit Authority. All right, no food and drinks are available for, food and drinks are available for purchase. No coolers, please. All right, moving on. Upcoming entertainment at the Lawn at Delhi Town Square. I guess we don't have a card for this. Again, thank you to our generous sponsors. This is also part of the concert series. So Delhi Duncan, Seton High School, St. Dominic Athletic Association, Riverview, Delhi Hills Kiwanis, Kruger Law, Duber's Carryout, Delhi Skyline Chili, James J. Luby, CPA, and Robin Florist. Upcoming, the Lawn Bar is open on Friday and Saturday every week from 5 until 10. Bring your lawn chair and join us for some cool drinks and great tunes. Upcoming August bands starting at 7 p.m. Are August 2nd, the House Band, August 8th, Sullivan and Jansen, August 9th, Tommy and Hub, August 15th, Bob Cushing, August 16th, Sapphire Express, August 22nd, Carl G. Acoustic, August 23rd, William Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream. So we do more than just music here. August 29th, Vicky and Bob Acoustic. And August 30th, Soul Pocket, featuring the fabulous ladies of Soul Pocket. All right. Moving on, we have our school supply drive that was mentioned by Lieutenant Myers. This is sponsored by Delhi Police Department and Delhi Skirt Game. July 31st through August 10th, drop-off locations are the Delhi Police Department, Delhi Branch Library, Delhi Town Square. That would be on the event center side, so come into 5031 Delhi Pike to drop off there, and Shiloh United Methodist Church. Other drop-off locations and events, the Skirt Game Tailgate Party at Delhi Park on August 31st, August 8th, concert at Delhi Park, Stuff the Cruiser event on August 10th at Delhi Kroger, which runs from 11 to 1 p.m. Oh, okay. I guess they're out of order. So, man, I am just having a ball tonight. Let's see here. All right, day camp openings. We are winding down our weekly summer camps, but they will run through August 13th. So I believe the first day at Oak Hills is August 14th. So we've got you covered for the rest of the summer. Week of August 4th through the 8th is Crazy Olympics. Form teams and compete for the gold in events you'll never see in the Olympics. Win medals for the most outlandish feats or unusual endeavors. Let's see. Week August 11th through the 13th is It's Your Birthday. Complete day camp with a giant birthday party, cake, ice cream, and games. Visit the Delhi Event Center website for a full description and to register. Delhi Skirt Game. You guys may have heard of that. It's a fundraiser to help families who need assistance in our community. Come out for a fun family event. Thursday, August 31st, softball tournament to determine who will play in the skirt game. Friday, August 1st is the actual skirt game, featuring the Howlin' Max Band and an amazing fireworks display. Starting at 5 p.m. and going until 11 p.m. on both nights at the Delhi Park. There will be food and drink booths, food trucks, kid zone, and adult money games. And finally, we have the Delhi Township Touch a Truck event featuring Delhi Fire, Police, and Public Works and SWAT team. This will be on Saturday, September 20th from 1 until 4 p.m. at Delhi Town Square. Bring the whole family for a day of big trucks and big fun. Climb on, explore, and learn how these vehicles keep our community safe and running. And that's all I have.
I have one more, if you would. On that, the adult day there for Bailey's 40th anniversary, which is August 5th, that is open to the public. I just checked with the marketing director. So 3 to 4 is the cake cutting, and then there'll be some music, 4 o'clock. But this is for the adult day there at Bailey, celebrating their 40th anniversary. So friends and family that have used Bailey and their services and things, want to come back, feel free. So they'll have a little cake and a little event there, and there you go. So,
and may I add that Friday night down at Jim and Jack's, the Kids, Cops, and Firefighters Queen of Hearts is now up over $29,000. And you get.
Well, and I'm going to ask all of you to hang in there for a minute because we're going to circle back. We did have one more resident sign in for a speaker sign-in sheet. This is Mimi Moeller at 5694 Victory View Lane, correct?
Correct.
All right, Mimi.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm not sure this is the correct venue, but I wanted to talk about the residential parking on the street where I live. If you're familiar with Victory View, there's a very short entrance to the subdivision, and then there's a stop sign and all the other cul-de-sacs in the back. In the first section where I live, there's 3 houses on the left and 2 on the right, so there's not a lot of space to park on the street. There are 2, I call them commercial vans, but I don't know if they meet the commercial definition in the rules for Delhi. They are 2 company vans. One is a refrigeration company and one is a carpentry company. They don't live on our street. They live on Neeb, but they park there every day. And when they park on the weekends, particularly, when they park on Friday, that space is gone for the weekend. So if you have people coming over or whatever, they have no place to park. So I don't know if that kind of vehicle meets the definition of a commercial vehicle or not, or the other thing is I'm the second house on the left with a double driveway, and everybody turns around in my driveway, and I didn't realize that the one vehicle turned around in my driveway every day until I happened to get up at 5:45 in the morning.
I think the best thing for us to do is to turn this to police first for parking violations.
A lot of those work van types wouldn't qualify under the heavy commercial vehicle resolution, but if you ever have a question, you can always call the office. We'll come check it out. A lot of times, some of these things like that can be handled with a conversation with the owner of that van.
Yeah, I did. He doesn't park there anymore after I saw him there, but they park there all the time, every day. So I don't know if that...
So Lieutenant Mark, can you mark 5694 Victory View and take a look at what we've got going on down there?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to leave your info with me, I'll reach out to you as soon as possible.
The second thing is coming up on school starting. When Our Lady of Victory is in session, there are, cars have to pick up kids, but there are parents who don't want to wait in that line, and they come down our street, turn around in my driveway, and then they park across the street going in the wrong direction. You can only park on one side of the street, and that's an in, and they want to park out and then drive out. And that's kind of a traffic problem to me because they're pulling out in the street on the wrong side of the street, so that's kind of a concern for me.
And that starts on August, 14th? It's the first day of school?
Yeah, the first week of school, I usually go out and talk to each one of them after they pull out and ask them to please not pull in my driveway. And several of them had said, well, we're not really pulling in your driveway. We're only going up to the sidewalk. And I said, yeah, but I'm the one who's on the hook if my driveway gets damaged or if that gets damaged,
Right.
which I've had to replace one of the blocks already.
So, Jared, August 14th, can we take a look at what's happening with the school opening?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have our SRO get on that, and they can make contact so that you don't have to do it.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
In addition, since we're on that, Ron, circling back with you, I know you have the sign there at Moorview and Alomar, 30 feet from the stop sign, which helps, which is much appreciated. The question was the same one at Romance and Anderson Ferry, where the cars are parking right up by the stop sign, so people go to the left, and Anderson Ferry traffic's flying on.
Can't see.
Yeah, it can't see. So is that something that's on your radar?
I received a call from Director Roach, and the sign's already installed. That's just obeying the law, 30 feet from the stop sign. So we already put one up.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then. Where am I? Oh, I think it's time to adjourn the meeting. I'd like everyone to know that you're invited back on August the 13th. We'll be here at 6 o'clock. Wednesday, August the 16th is our next Delhi Township Trustee meeting. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
With no further business to brought before this board, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion adjourned, meeting adjourned. Thank you.